Have you ever felt like something sacred is missing in our fast-paced world? Like the rituals that once connected us to something greater are slowly slipping away? Imagine finding a deeper sense of purpose, a renewed connection to the divine, and a stronger sense of community. Today, we'll dive into one of the most profound mysteries of faith, the Eucharist, and explore how its true meaning can transform your life. If you're ready to reignite your spiritual journey and join a growing community of believers who are rediscovering the sacred, hit that subscribe button and become part of our mission to spread hope and reverence. Let's get to 1,000 subscribers together. Every click brings us closer to building a stronger, united community. In a world overwhelmed by speed, technology, and distractions, the very essence of our spiritual lives is at stake. The Eucharist, a practice that has united Catholics for centuries, is often seen as a routine rather than a moment of divine connection. Yet, what if we could reclaim its sacredness? This isn't just about faith, it's about rekindling awe in the everyday. For many, the Eucharist has shifted from being a transformative experience to a symbolic act. This change is deeply rooted in how society views mystery, reverence, and tradition. The secular world prioritizes logic, speed, and productivity, leaving little room for the quiet moments of reflection that faith demands. Imagine attending a Sunday Mass where every gesture, prayer, and symbol carries profound significance. It's not just a tradition, it's an encounter with the divine. But how do we bridge the gap between modern disconnection and ancient devotion? To start, we must understand the historical significance of the Eucharist. From the Last Supper to the present day, it has been more than a ritual, it's a living tradition. Yet, many Catholics find themselves distanced from its meaning. Why? Because modern life often feels incompatible with faith, but this disconnect is not irreversible. By taking deliberate steps, believers can begin to reframe the Eucharist in their minds and hearts. It starts with education, intentional practice, and a community-wide effort to rediscover reverence. Together, these steps can help reawaken a sense of wonder and deepen the bond with this sacred practice. What makes the Eucharist so powerful is its ability to unite believers across time and space. This isn't just about individuals, it's about communities coming together, grounded in shared faith. In a fragmented world, this unity offers hope and healing. By rediscovering the Eucharist, we can transform not just our spiritual lives, but also how we engage with the world. This journey is one of reflection, understanding, and commitment, a call to action that invites us to embrace the sacred once again. The Eucharist isn't just a ritual, it's a profound mystery that connects believers to the divine. For centuries, it has been central to Catholic worship, symbolizing Christ's ultimate sacrifice and love. Yet, the modern world often reduces its significance to something purely symbolic. To reclaim its sacredness, we must first grasp its depth. The term mystery is often misunderstood in today's culture. It doesn't mean something unknowable, but something so profound it transcends ordinary understanding. The Eucharist, in its mystery, invites us into an encounter that surpasses the limits of logic and speaks directly to the soul. This mystery is rooted in the doctrine of transubstantiation, the belief that the bread and wine become the body and blood of Christ. While this concept can seem abstract, it holds the key to understanding the transformative power of the Eucharist. It's not just about what we see, it's about what we experience in faith. For many, embracing this mystery requires a shift in mindset. In a world that prioritizes what is tangible, the idea of Christ being present in the Eucharist challenges us to move beyond materialism. It calls us to trust in a reality that is spiritual and eternal. To deepen this trust, education plays a vital role. Understanding the theological and historical context of the Eucharist helps believers approach it with reverence and awe. When we see the Eucharist as part of a living tradition, it becomes more than a practice, it becomes a divine encounter. Community also plays a key role in unraveling the mystery of the Eucharist. Through shared worship, believers can support and inspire one another in their spiritual journeys. This collective faith strengthens the individual and fosters a deeper connection to Christ. Reconnecting with the mystery of the Eucharist doesn't happen overnight. It's a journey that requires reflection, prayer, and a willingness to embrace the unknown. But in doing so, believers can rediscover a source of peace, strength, and spiritual renewal that transforms their lives. The roots of the Eucharist trace back to the Last Supper, where Christ instituted this sacred practice as a way to remain with his followers forever. Over centuries, it has been celebrated as the pinnacle of Catholic worship, symbolizing unity, sacrifice, and divine presence. Understanding this history is essential to appreciating the Eucharist's significance. At the Last Supper, Christ's words, "This is my body," and "This is my blood," weren't mere metaphors, they were declarations of a new covenant. This moment laid the foundation for a sacrament that would transcend time and space. The early Church embraced the Eucharist as a cornerstone of Christian life. In times of persecution, believers gathered in secret to celebrate this sacred mystery, often at great personal risk. Their devotion underscores the Eucharist's importance as a source of strength and unity. Throughout history, the Church has upheld the Eucharist's significance through councils, teachings, and liturgical practices. The doctrine of transubstantiation was affirmed at the Fourth Lateran Council, emphasizing the real presence of Christ in the sacrament. This teaching continues to shape Catholic faith today. Traditional practices, such as adoration and processions, further highlight the Eucharist's role as a central element of worship. These acts of reverence remind believers of Christ's presence and invite them to reflect on the mystery of his love. By understanding the Eucharist's historical context, Catholics can deepen their connection to this sacred practice. It's not just about remembering the past, it's about living a tradition that continues to inspire faith and devotion. As we reconnect with this history, the Eucharist becomes more than a ritual. It becomes a bridge between the divine and the human, offering a glimpse of God's infinite love and inviting us to respond with gratitude and reverence. The modern world presents unique challenges to understanding and embracing the Eucharist. Secularism, individualism, and the fast pace of life often clash with the reverence and mystery that the Eucharist demands. Addressing these challenges is essential to reclaiming its sacredness. Secularism has reshaped how society views faith and mystery. In a culture that values empirical evidence and tangible results, the spiritual and the mystical can seem irrelevant. This mindset makes it harder for believers to appreciate the Eucharist's deeper significance. Individualism further complicates the issue. In a society that prioritizes personal beliefs over communal values, the Eucharist's role as a unifying sacrament is often overlooked. Many approach it as a private act rather than a shared encounter with the divine. The fast pace of life also hinders reverence for the Eucharist. With constant distractions and demands, finding time for reflection and spiritual preparation becomes increasingly difficult. The Eucharist, which requires stillness and focus, often feels out of sync with modern priorities. To overcome these challenges, Catholics must be intentional about their faith. This involves creating space for silence, prayer, and reflection, even in the midst of a busy schedule. By slowing down, believers can approach the Eucharist with a renewed sense of awe. Education is another powerful tool. By deepening their understanding of the Eucharist, Catholics can counter the influence of secularism and individualism. Knowledge fosters reverence, helping believers see the sacrament as a vital connection to Christ. Community also plays a crucial role. In a fragmented world, gathering with others to celebrate the Eucharist reinforces its significance. Through shared worship, believers can inspire and support one another, creating a culture of reverence and faith. While the challenges of modernity are significant, they are not insurmountable. By addressing these issues with intentionality and commitment, Catholics can rediscover the Eucharist as a source of strength, unity, and divine encounter. A strong foundation in education and catechesis is essential for understanding the Eucharist. Many Catholics lack a clear grasp of its theological and historical significance, which diminishes their ability to approach it with reverence. Addressing this gap is crucial for revitalizing faith. Catechesis provides the context needed to appreciate the Eucharist as more than a ritual. By tracing its origins to the Last Supper and Christ's sacrifice, believers gain a deeper understanding of its role in salvation history. This knowledge transforms the Eucharist from a routine practice to a profound encounter. Teaching the doctrine of transubstantiation is another key element of catechesis. This belief, that the bread and wine become the body and blood of Christ, sets the Catholic understanding of the Eucharist apart. By explaining this mystery, catechesis helps believers approach the sacrament with awe and faith. Practical education is equally important. Catholics need guidance on how to prepare for and participate in the Eucharist. This includes understanding the importance of confession, prayer, and reflection, which help create a disposition of reverence and gratitude. Catechesis also emphasizes the communal nature of the Eucharist. It's not just about personal devotion, it's about joining with others in worship. This shared experience strengthens the bond between believers and reinforces the sacrament's role in uniting the Church. Parishes and schools play a vital role in delivering catechesis. By offering programs for all ages, they ensure that every Catholic has the opportunity to deepen their understanding of the faith. Lifelong learning creates a foundation for reverence and devotion that endures. Through education, the Church can inspire a renewed appreciation for the Eucharist. By equipping believers with knowledge and understanding, catechesis fosters a faith that is resilient, reverent, and deeply connected to Christ. Traditional practices surrounding the Eucharist hold the key to restoring a sense of reverence and awe. These gestures, rooted in centuries of Catholic worship, carry profound meaning and invite believers into a deeper encounter with the divine. Rediscovering them can reawaken faith. One such practice is receiving communion on the tongue. Historically, this gesture symbolized humility and reverence, reminding believers of Christ's sacred presence. While receiving communion in the hand is valid, reintroducing the option to receive on the tongue offers a tangible way to reconnect with tradition. Kneeling during communion is another practice that conveys deep respect. By physically bowing before the Eucharist, Catholics express their surrender to Christ and acknowledge His divinity. This act, while simple, creates a powerful moment of connection with the sacrament's sacredness. The use of sensory elements like incense and sacred music also enhances the Eucharistic experience. Incense symbolizes prayers rising to heaven, while music prepares the heart for worship. These elements, deeply rooted in Catholic tradition, elevate the Mass and create an atmosphere of reverence. Eucharistic processions offer a public way to honor the sacrament. Carrying the Eucharist through streets or within the church invites the community to celebrate Christ's presence together. This visible act of faith unites believers and reinforces the centrality of the Eucharist in Catholic life. Adoration and benediction provide opportunities for reflection outside of Massachusetts. In these quiet moments, Catholics can meditate on Christ's presence and deepen their relationship with Him. These practices highlight the Eucharist's role as more than a ritual. It's a personal encounter with the divine. Reintroducing these traditional practices is not about resisting change but about preserving the sacred. They serve as reminders of the Eucharist's profound importance and invite believers to approach it with renewed reverence, transforming both their faith and their lives. The Eucharist is not only a personal encounter but also a communal celebration that unites believers in faith. The role of the community in fostering reverence for the sacrament cannot be overstated. Together, Catholics can create an environment that honors the sacred and strengthens faith. Faith thrives in a supportive community. Within families, parishes, and broader Catholic networks, believers find encouragement and accountability. When communities collectively emphasize reverence for the Eucharist, they inspire individuals to deepen their own devotion. Mass is a central gathering point for Catholic communities. In this shared worship, the Eucharist becomes a powerful symbol of unity. Each individual's faith contributes to the collective experience, creating a sense of belonging and shared purpose that reinforces the sacrament's significance. Education within the community is another vital aspect. Parishes that prioritize catechesis and Eucharistic education create a foundation of understanding for believers of all ages. By learning together, communities can foster a culture of reverence that transcends generations. Community support extends beyond Massachusetts. Eucharistic adoration, prayer groups, and faith-sharing events offer opportunities for believers to come together and grow spiritually. These gatherings deepen the communal connection to Christ and strengthen the bond among members. Public acts of faith, such as Eucharistic processions, unite communities in visible expressions of belief. These events not only honor the sacrament but also serve as a testament to the strength of Catholic faith in the modern world, inspiring others to reconnect with their spirituality. When communities prioritize the Eucharist, they create a ripple effect that transforms individual lives and the broader Church. This shared commitment to reverence fosters a vibrant, resilient faith that withstands the challenges of the secular world, offering hope and strength to all who participate. Hey there! If you're enjoying this journey and finding value in what we're sharing, take a quick moment to hit that subscribe button. We're on an exciting mission to reach 1,000 subscribers, and your support means the world to us. Every single subscription brings us closer to building a vibrant community where we can share inspiration, deepen our faith, and grow together. You have the power to make a real impact. Your click is more than a number, it's a step toward creating something meaningful and lasting. So, if you haven't already, subscribe now and become an essential part of this growing family. Together, we can achieve this incredible milestone and keep spreading positivity and purpose. Let's make it happen. Approaching the Eucharist with reverence begins long before Massachusetts. Personal preparation is key to deepening the experience and fostering a stronger connection to Christ. Through intentional practices, Catholics can ensure their hearts and minds are ready to receive this sacred gift. Prayer is the foundation of preparation. Taking time before Mass to pray and reflect sets the tone for a meaningful encounter with the Eucharist. This could involve meditating on Scripture, offering personal intentions, or simply seeking God's presence in silence. Confession is another vital aspect of preparation. By seeking forgiveness through the sacrament of reconciliation, Catholics approach the Eucharist with a clean heart and a renewed spirit. This act of humility deepens their appreciation for Christ's sacrifice and fosters a sense of gratitude. Arriving early for Mass allows time for quiet reflection. Sitting in the pews, away from the distractions of daily life, creates space to focus on the significance of the Eucharist. This intentional stillness invites God's grace and prepares believers for the sacred moment to come. Fasting before receiving the Eucharist, as outlined by Church teachings, is a physical reminder of spiritual readiness. This small act of sacrifice fosters discipline and helps Catholics approach the sacrament with a heightened sense of reverence. Reading and meditating on the readings for the day's Mass is another powerful way to prepare. Understanding the liturgy deepens engagement with the Word and aligns the heart with the themes of the Eucharist. By cultivating these habits, Catholics create a mindset of reverence and intentionality. Preparation transforms the Eucharist from a routine act into a profound encounter, enriching their faith and strengthening their relationship with Christ. Eucharistic adoration offers a unique opportunity for Catholics to encounter Christ in a deeply personal and transformative way. This practice, often overlooked, is a powerful tool for spiritual renewal and reflection. In adoration, believers sit in silence before the Blessed Sacrament, contemplating Christ's presence. This quiet, intimate setting allows them to disconnect from the noise of the world and focus fully on their relationship with God. One of the most profound aspects of adoration is its simplicity. There are no distractions, no rituals to follow, just the opportunity to be with Christ. This stillness fosters a sense of peace that is increasingly rare in modern life. Adoration also provides space for deep reflection. Believers can meditate on Christ's sacrifice, His love, and His presence in their lives. This time of prayer helps them gain clarity and perspective, often leading to spiritual breakthroughs. For many, adoration becomes a source of strength. In moments of doubt or difficulty, sitting in the presence of Christ offers comfort and reassurance. It reminds believers that they are never alone in their struggles. This practice also has a communal dimension. While deeply personal, adoration often brings believers together, fostering a sense of unity and shared faith. This collective devotion strengthens the bonds within the Catholic community. By incorporating Eucharistic adoration into their spiritual routines, Catholics can deepen their understanding of the Eucharist and experience its transformative power in a new and profound way. Families play a pivotal role in nurturing reverence for the Eucharist. By integrating this sacred practice into family life, parents and children alike can develop a deeper connection to their faith and to each other. One way to foster a Eucharistic culture is through regular Mass attendance as a family. This shared act of worship creates a foundation of faith and demonstrates the central role of the Eucharist in Catholic life. Family prayer time, especially centered on the Eucharist, reinforces its significance. Praying together before or after Mass, or discussing its meaning during family devotionals, deepens everyone's understanding and appreciation. Parents have a unique opportunity to model reverence for the Eucharist. By preparing thoughtfully for Mass, actively participating, and approaching the sacrament with humility, they set an example that children naturally follow. Catechesis at home is also essential. Parents can teach their children about the history, theology, and mystery of the Eucharist in ways that are age-appropriate and engaging. This foundational knowledge inspires a lifelong appreciation for the sacrament, creating Eucharistic traditions within the family, such as attending adoration together or celebrating feast days, further strengthens this culture. These practices make the Eucharist a tangible and cherished part of family life. Family discussions about faith, including personal reflections on the Eucharist, create space for open dialogue. Sharing experiences and insights fosters a deeper collective understanding and reinforces the Eucharist's role as a unifying sacrament. By prioritizing the Eucharist in family life, Catholics create a legacy of faith that extends across generations, ensuring that this sacred practice remains central to their lives and to the lives of their children. The Eucharist is not just a celebration, it is a source of healing for the body, mind, and soul. In receiving this sacrament, Catholics encounter Christ in a way that brings restoration and peace. Many Catholics approach the Eucharist with burdens, stress, guilt, grief, or fear. In this sacred moment, they find solace and strength, knowing they are united with Christ, who carries their struggles with them. The act of receiving the Eucharist is itself healing. As the bread and wine become Christ's body and blood, they nourish the soul, offering spiritual strength that flows into every aspect of life. The Eucharist also fosters reconciliation. By inviting Catholics to reflect on their lives and seek forgiveness, it creates an opportunity for renewal. This process helps believers let go of resentment, heal relationships, and embrace Christ's mercy. Adoration plays a complementary role in healing. In the quiet of adoration, believers can pour out their struggles to Christ and receive His peace. Many report feeling a profound sense of clarity and relief after spending time in His presence. For those facing physical or emotional challenges, the Eucharist provides hope. It reminds believers of Christ's sacrifice and His power to bring light into even the darkest circumstances. Through its healing power, the Eucharist transforms lives. It offers a tangible reminder of Christ's love and presence, inspiring Catholics to face their challenges with faith, strength, and hope. Living a Eucharistic life means carrying the presence of Christ into everyday moments. The sacrament isn't confined to Mass, it inspires believers to embody Christ's love, compassion, and humility in all they do. Every interaction becomes an opportunity to reflect Christ's teachings. Whether through acts of kindness, forgiveness, or service, Catholics live out the Eucharist by being a visible sign of Christ's presence in the world. Gratitude is a key component of a Eucharistic life. By recognizing the gift of Christ's presence, believers approach daily life with a spirit of thankfulness, which influences their attitudes and actions. Humility is another hallmark of Eucharistic living. Inspired by Christ's sacrifice, Catholics seek to put others first, building relationships rooted in love and mutual respect. Prayer and reflection keep the Eucharist at the center of daily life. Setting aside time for these practices helps Catholics maintain a strong connection to Christ and navigate challenges with patience and faith. Service to others is a natural extension of the Eucharist. Whether volunteering, supporting those in need, or simply being present for loved ones, these acts of love and compassion embody the teachings of Christ. By integrating the Eucharist into all aspects of life, Catholics transform ordinary moments into sacred opportunities. This approach fosters a faith that is vibrant, enduring, and deeply connected to Christ. Public worship plays a critical role in fostering Eucharistic reverence. The Mass, as the heart of Catholic life, is a communal celebration that invites believers to come together in awe and devotion. Each element of the liturgy is designed to highlight the sacredness of the Eucharist. From the prayers to the readings to the solemnity of the consecration, every moment invites participants into a deeper encounter with Christ. The role of music in public worship cannot be overstated. Hymns and sacred melodies elevate the experience, preparing the hearts of believers to receive the Eucharist with reverence. These musical moments help bridge the gap between the divine and human experience. Gestures of reverence, such as kneeling, bowing, and making the sign of the cross, further emphasize the sacred nature of the Eucharist. These physical expressions of faith remind participants of the profound mystery they are partaking in. The homily provides an opportunity for clergy to connect the Eucharist to the lives of the congregation. By reflecting on the readings and the sacrament's significance, priests can inspire deeper understanding and appreciation among believers. Communal prayer during the Mass unites the faithful in a shared act of worship. This collective voice reflects the unity of the Church and reinforces the Eucharist's role as a unifying sacrament. By fully engaging in the Mass, believers create an atmosphere of reverence that honors the Eucharist. Public worship becomes not just a routine but a transformative experience that strengthens faith and community. The Eucharist is not only a source of personal and communal renewal but also a powerful tool for evangelization. It inspires Catholics to share their faith and invite others to experience the transformative power of Christ. Evangelization begins with living a Eucharistic life. When Catholics embody Christ's teachings in their daily actions, they become witnesses to the beauty and depth of their faith. This silent testimony can spark curiosity and draw others toward the Church. Sharing personal experiences of the Eucharist is another powerful way to evangelize. Testimonies of how the sacrament has brought peace, healing, or transformation can resonate deeply with those seeking meaning and connection. Inviting others to attend Mass or Eucharistic adoration can provide a first-hand experience of the sacrament's sacredness. These encounters often serve as turning points for individuals exploring their faith or seeking a deeper relationship with God. The Eucharist also serves as a bridge for ecumenical dialogue. By emphasizing its role as a source of unity and love, Catholics can engage in meaningful conversations with Christians from other traditions, fostering mutual understanding and respect. In digital spaces, the Eucharist can be a focal point for outreach. Through videos, blogs, and social media posts, Catholics can share the significance of this sacrament, reaching audiences who may not otherwise encounter its message. Evangelization rooted in the Eucharist is not about forcing beliefs but inviting others into a journey of discovery. By sharing the transformative power of Christ's presence, Catholics can inspire others to explore the depths of faith and embrace the sacred. Sustaining devotion to the Eucharist requires ongoing effort and intentionality. It is not a one-time commitment but a lifelong journey that deepens with practice and reflection. Regular participation in Mass is the foundation of Eucharistic devotion. By prioritizing this sacred time, Catholics reaffirm their connection to Christ and the community, ensuring that the Eucharist remains central to their spiritual lives. Eucharistic adoration offers a way to nurture this devotion outside of Massachusetts. Spending time in quiet reflection before the Blessed Sacrament allows believers to deepen their relationship with Christ and experience His presence in a personal way. Education is another essential element. Continued learning about the theology, history, and significance of the Eucharist enriches understanding and fosters a sense of reverence. Parishes can support this by offering catechetical programs for all ages. Community involvement also sustains devotion. Being part of a parish or faith group provides encouragement and accountability, creating a supportive environment where reverence for the Eucharist is cultivated and shared. Personal prayer and reflection are key to maintaining a Eucharistic focus. Setting aside time for these practices helps Catholics integrate the sacrament's teachings into their daily lives and navigate challenges with faith and grace. Celebrating milestones and feast days related to the Eucharist can further strengthen devotion. These moments of joy and reflection serve as reminders of the sacrament's central role in Catholic life. By consistently nurturing their connection to the Eucharist, Catholics can ensure that this sacred practice remains a source of inspiration, strength, and transformation throughout their lives. As we've explored, the Eucharist is far more than a ritual. It is the very heart of Catholic faith, a source of unity, healing, and divine encounter. Whether through personal preparation, public worship, or daily acts of kindness, living a Eucharistic life transforms not only individuals but entire communities. Your support helps us continue spreading these messages of faith and inspiration. If this video has touched you, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and join us on this journey of rediscovery. Let's reach our goal of 1,000 subscribers and build a community rooted in hope, reverence, and love. Together, we can honor the sacred, embrace the divine, and share the transformative power of the Eucharist with the world. Thank you for being part of this mission. Let's keep growing in faith, together.